If you're watching this video on Humboldt Redwood Park and are looking to go to the Avenue of the Giants, I sure hope you can go. It's a truly spectacular place. You deserve to see these incredible fern gardens as they spread out along the forest floor, juxtaposed with these really soaring redwoods whose size and scale are just absolutely incredible to behold. You know, as you stand up beside them, you just get the scale and the time that it took to get to this particular place. Another amazing, point about this particular area is, a large section of it is old growth redwood, and only 21% of the world's forests have that designation. You have this really cool, complex, layer of life that inhabits both the trees, the mid layer of the sequoias, as well as the ground cover. I sure hope you're able to come. I picked the Rockefeller Loop here in Humboldt Redwood State Park because it is an old growth forest, and it really is kind of the remnants of a really ancient ecosystem and a place of remarkable beauty and ecological significance. And I would even go as far as to say there's some sort of spiritual renaissance here. As you walk through and the light filters down through the canopy, onto the forest floor, and the quietness and the interaction with nature, I thought it was really kind of a special experience. And I think everybody deserves to be able to have that, particularly since the hustle and bustle of modern day life just kind of leaves that component of our humanity maybe as slightly neglected. But the Rockefeller Loop Trail, winds through this really majestic grove of towering redwoods, some of the tallest living organisms on Earth. That there's estimations that they could be between 2,000 and 3,000 years old, with some up to 4,000. These ancient giants really are just spectacular. They can reach these incredible heights of 300 feet, and you can't really appreciate their girth until you really go up and just behold them in person. It's really just this amazing experience to kind of circumnavigate around them and go, oh my God, it's really incredible. So, and of course the forest floor is covered with these lush ferns and mosses and delicate wildflowers, kind of creating this really vibrant and, I would have to say, enchanting experience. I keep panning up, but it's amazing just the scale. Like you got to do it to get a sense of, the awesomeness of it. It's pretty cool. Like I said before, here's another really seem to live in 1,000 years plus. It's like a fallen god right there. It's so wild. It's so beautiful. If you're in the Humboldt area, you gotta do this. And it only just seems to always get better. This is Bull Creek Flat Trail. It's nothing short of spectacular.
And the nice thing is you've got the river right there. The whole time practically. And there were a few decent swimming holes. Oh. So if you're hot, take a dip.
Kind of a cool little fun factoid. Something called nutrient transportation. It's kind of cool. Here in Bull Creek, you do have some salmon, which are these, of course, these super nutrient-rich fish that bring significant amounts of marine delivered nutrients from the ocean back to these freshwater ecosystems. When the salmon return upstream to spawn. And, of course, that gives the local plants a bunch of nitrogen and phosphorus, other minerals. So when they die, that goes back into the ecosystem. But I just think it's amazing the interconnectedness, of how, the ocean, which is miles and hundreds of miles from here, and redwoods are linked. Just a kind of a cool little something to noodle on.
And this one here is just a little baby tree. Versus a mama tree. Still huge. And I guess right there we got the daddy tree. Yeah. Okay, back on the Rockefeller Loop here. Real short, about half a mile or so. But I mean, obviously it's just spectacular. Super wide. I would even say wheelchair accessible, which is awesome. So maybe with a little help from here to there from time to time. Boy, nobody got spared through there.
One of my favorite walks along the Avenue of the Giants is the Kent Mather Loop, which is this really wonderful fern-filled redwood grove that runs right alongside the South Fork of the Eel River. And during the summer months, it's super cool in there because of the canopy and the moisture of the ferns in the ground. I highly recommend stopping here if you're heading on the Avenue of the Giants. As it turns out, ferns and redwoods, they have this super duper kind of cozy relationship where everybody wins, and we like that. So first, the one of the ways that it works out for everybody is the ferns, with their dense foliage and root system, they kind of spread out, over the ground, and they help retain water, right? Because it reduces evaporation, and that, soil moisture is so important to the redwoods. Another way that they help contribute is this nutrient cycling. So they create this complex ecosystem there on the ground where you have insects, small mammals living their life cycles. Ultimately, when those end, they break down into the soil, and you have this really cool relationship between ferns, fungi, and redwoods. The fungi, just create this really complex network that interconnect both the ferns and the redwoods. So literally there's times when this web of fungi is literally feeding both the redwoods as well as the ferns. So they kind of help each other in that way. And another great way that ferns help is soil stabilization, because believe it or not, for such incredibly tall trees, the redwoods, their root system doesn't go laterally very much. So what happens is, the ferns assist this with making sure that soil erosion doesn't happen, because their roots help bind the soil, keep it all in place. It's kind of a win-win.